something.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anything else going on this summer that's exciting so far?
Nope.
Just
Just sitting
just
around being lazy.
counting down till Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. It started freaking me out actually because on Reddit people already started like posting their scores, but I didn't realize that those are the ones that are going into university. So like the colleges had posted their transcripts already. So yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I'm like refreshing the AP classroom, like, please post the score.
Wow. Oh yeah, we still have till Monday and then we get them. That's
Yeah.
it's gonna be ugly.
I don't I don't I don't
Yours
know.
will be good. Yours will be beautiful.
Stats will be good. Calculus
Stats
will be good.
stats will not be good.
No, because they posted. There was a guy who posted all of the once they finalized the scores, he posted like the grade distributions for, and it seemed like for a majority of the subjects, like 5 and 4 were like 40% or more of the grade distribution.
Wow.
So
Good.
knocking on wood.
Yeah.
But
Let's hope
uh
so.
yeah, I hope Monday is a good day. Um but so I'll share the screen. Um Really the only thing uh that I wanted to, okay, see you. All right. This is where I'm very bad with Teams right now is okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So as for priority four, which is parent engagement, and also, we talked about this last time as far as trying to do more community engagement for next year. So that's also something that we could work on as far as this priority. And I saw the things that you sent me as far as the comprehensive exam and the AP exams, and so I think that we, for this more than anything is just kind of looking at what we did this year, and now that we have our first graduating class, were some of the things that we could improve on for, I guess, next year, where we're going to have our first sort of alumni base, and sort of what your thoughts are on things that we could do to, rather than just have students from other networks coming to our campus to talk, but what is it that we could do as far as like our seniors this year, leading into next year, to try to create that alumni base.
Yep. I hope we can do that. No basis school has done a good job of having an actual alumni database. They
Okay.
all kind of just disappear when the teachers that knew them disappear. Like it's very ad hoc. There's
Right.
nothing centralized. And they tried to centralize a couple years ago, actually, but there were, um, it was led by Shoko, and they have a lot of what we would term VIP students.
Right. Sure.
So it kind of petered out as they were like, oh no, we can't share that information about that family.
Okay.
And they're like, oh no, you can't track down that student. And it just like it became such a headache that they just stopped.
So would that be something that like we necessarily couldn't do it like at a basis level, but we could do it just as a Wuhan level?
Yeah, and that's I hope we can. And
Okay.
I think everybody wants to. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem with it. Like we've yeah, the big thing is it's always just been to teachers and then or usually the college admissions officer, like the DCAs. So when they leave, they've always kind of just taken that information with them and then other
Okay.
people tried to piece it together and it didn't really become clear how disjointed it was until they tried to actually consolidate it. That would have been like a year or two before I was in this network. I've just heard about the attempt.
Sure.
but they do always talk about trying it again. So
Okay.
it is something we need to do. And at our
Right.
school, we're in a good place to start it.
Yeah, because um how many we're gonna have with bilingual and international? Is it, what is it, 20?
Now it's 18, our
18.
18 legends of China. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I mean, at least it's a small enough cohort where it's trying to get that information locked down is going to be much easier.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I think it's one of the priorities that probably um is it will take the longest because it's something that we can start now that will go into graduation. But it's already something that I feel like, as a school, when it comes to parent communication and then also community engagement, I know like we talked about that other piece, but I do feel like it's probably the strongest um, portion of the priorities of what it is that we do as a school, or at least for this year. I do think that like the communication level has been much better, for at least from my perspective. I feel like the communication that we've had with parents at large has been very positive. But I would like to, especially for next year, or the years after that, when we talk about that sort of community engagement, like what is it that we could do, um, that might help students kind of get out of the campus a little bit more. And we were talking about that too, you and I, but also I brought it up in class as well, about how, like, when we talk about that sort of community engagement, like that there's certain laws that are, we have to kind of like work with in order for students to kind of take part in those activities.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know if you had it took a look around some of the documents that I made for what we could do for next year, and any thoughts that you might have on that.
Yeah. I looked at some of these. A lot of them are things that we have the outline of, and that's why I sent you those PowerPoints earlier
Right.
of
Yeah.
the AP. And if you look at the end of the AP one, starting on slide 33 of the AP one, there is like a college admissions plan, and that's a summary. The college admissions office does a whole like hour-long thing with parents in the first month of school in September.
Okay.
And in the AP one, I included a like a breakdown. It's like an 8-slide summary of what
Right.
they do for each year. So they have a lot of the things that you had mentioned on there were
Okay.
about like informing parents of what's happening, doing showing them long-term planning, those things. We have
Yeah.
the we have the bones of that,
Okay.
but they can be improved. So I what you were doing, a lot of those things are started, but they're things that need to be really more firmly like rounded up. Like I saw your roundtable stuff.
Yeah.
Dan Dan does like host chats where he'll bring in one class of students' parents
Right.
and he'll just talk with them. He'll bring in like 10 to 15 parents at a time and sit in the large conference room and just take questions and answer them. And then me or Melissa or Natalie, we sit with him and answer those questions. So we do things like parent roundtables. Because I know we had talked before about like the PTA, which I saw mentioned in here again,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we can't really do a PTA.
Sure.
Uh, but the roundtable is a thing that we can do.
Yeah.
Uh, but, but also we have to structure those well to make sure that they don't become very negative, because that's why PTAs are banned in the network now, because every attempt has
Okay.
ended with uh, pitchforks.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like we might not have like a formalized kind of PTA, but I do feel like anytime we have these roundtables or the coffee chats, like there is a decent amount of like question and answer with parents. So I do think it's like we kind of have like our version of what a PTA can look like in a positive way. So yeah. Um, okay. Yeah, so that would be one of the recommendations is just kind of like create a more structured summary for parents regarding APs. Okay. And then how did the like when you did the presentation for the comprehensive exam, how did parents perceive that?
It's again, it's hard to know this year. We we always talk about these things that would be nice and then we can't do them. But this year there was a new policy in place where we couldn't elicit parent feedback after our events. So we used to always have a QR code at the end of events
Right, yeah.
asking for feedback. And this year we were told to remove all of those. Uh,
Okay. All
so
right.
we couldn't get actual like systematized feedback and try to get it from everyone that was there, which was interesting. Uh, the honestly, the biggest feedback I got after that comp one was a group of parents demanding to see network averages and what our school scored against those. And
Oh,
the only feedback was, we don't care about any of this. Just show us the scores so that we can properly see how we compare to everyone else.
yeah. Right.
So I often feel like our parents are very results oriented. They don't
Yeah.
care about the process, but that's what we're trying to educate them on is the process and why it matters.
Yeah. And well, going back to that, like when we talked about the idea of like having them come into like classes or whatever kind of like structure that could be, um, like do you think that would help sort of like change that perception or
Hopefully.
yeah,
And that's one of the things, and that's why I bring it up, is because when we plan these things, we have where we want our parents to be. The one feedback that we did get is that for both the AP and the comp plans, we or presentations to parents, we did them earlier this school year compared to last school year,
hmm,
and there was positive feedback on that.
okay,
Uh, like parents would bring it up in later meetings and things like that, where they'd say, "Oh, we know they did a better job of telling us things." So I saw in your timelines you had things happening in the first semester. I think our
yeah,
first AP info session was December.
okay, yeah,
Uh, so moving that back into quarter one would be even better. It's just that
okay,
there's so much that happens in quarter one.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
yeah. But that again, that's why it's good to have you working on this and Tim working on his leadership thing and Reza and Anka trying to plan some kind of coaching thing. Like as we get more capacity, people that can run these things, hopefully we can start doing them when they should be done rather
right.
than when we have time.
Yeah. Do you think that like when like or who is delivering that message matters more to parents? So if it's like here like I remember we had the round table with the chairs, um but it's you gave a speech, Melissa gave a speech, and then it was like here's our chairs. So it's like do you think like when you and obviously when Dan and you and Melissa speak because you have the titles of head of school, head of division, vice head, like that when you guys speak about something, it carries more authority. Whereas if you had just like a set of chairs come up and talk, that parents are, gonna feel like maybe like, oh, we're just getting sort of like the heads of just five or 10 teachers, but like this is the head of school talking, so it has a little more authority to it.
It does. Our parents are really sensitive to that kind of thing,
Yeah.
uh, where they do care who's standing on the stage, which is
Right.
annoying a lot of times because we'll get conflicting feedback. Uh, so for example, but it's also the what the title of the event is called
Okay.
really impacts when they show up. And the feedback that they give doesn't like carry over. So for example, last year, um, me and Melissa did an info session about comps. and we got like 75 parents came in out of our 150 students. And they're during the day. They're like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So they're not exactly easy to get to. Uh, but like we have huge attendance. We have to move it to this small theater, similar to the one that you did at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
So then that went pretty well. But the feedback from parents was we spend all this time coming in here and then you just talk to us. You could just send us an email. And of course, the answer to that is, well, you don't read the emails. Uh, but so the next one that we did, Melissa and Jessica did a like this is how teaching works in Basis. And there was pretty good attendance, like 50 parents still. And they did it workshop style. And the feedback on that was great. And they were like, we want more of this. We love this. We want to be engaged. Uh, and then all of this is like feedback of parents that just come up afterwards and say it, since we
Right.
can't just like follow-up forms. So the next month we do the same thing. Melissa does it with Jennifer, and 20 parents signed up and 15 showed up.
Right.
And the parents that came up at the end of that one the previous month and said, we love this, we need more of this, and the parents that complain about like, oh, it's only info, none of them came. Like none of our vocal parents showed up for the
Okay.
second one. And then the next week, I had like a comps logistics session where I just brought the parents in and told them this is how the logistics of comps will work. And we put in there very clearly, like, if you've done this before, you don't need to come. It's the same as last year. Like,
Right.
we included all the information. We're like, but if you just want to see it, you can come in. And it didn't matter. There were still 50 parents that showed up at that event
Right.
when it was told to them, like, this is just me on a stage speaking at you, things that are in this email. And it's like, so it is difficult to know. It's not difficult to know. We know if we tell the parents that like I'm speaking, or like Dan got like 80% attendance during the school day for the whole school for his state of the school address. So like it does matter whose name is on it,
Yeah.
and they care about information that has testing in the name
Oh,
so
yeah.
much more than any kind of like this is how we do it or
Right.
process.
Okay. So that's the first thing is title every email important testing information.
Yeah, put AP or comp and it's in
Yeah.
every email, and then that will they'll pay more attention.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah, so okay. So it sounds like one of the things would just be to number one, like set up the structure for next year or for hopefully like a set of events where we could have at the very beginning of the year to kind of prep parents, um and then make sure that you Dan or Melissa are speaking first. So all right.
And I think the chair one last year, so we did that chair one at the beginning of the year, but then Vic and Reza did a follow-up one in December that
Okay.
went well. And
Nice.
trying to remember, I did speak at that one, but I only spoke, it's just an introduction. And but in the email we did include like I would speak and then Reza and Vic.
Right,
But
yeah.
it was like a chair-led session, and that was
Okay.
very well attended. But it was like how to prepare for the AP.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
again, it was very test focused. But that's why I say like when you put things in here, like we should have a comp and AP session at the beginning of the year, and I mentioned it's good to have people like you that can help with those,
Yep.
is even if I have to speak 5 minutes at the beginning to get, 15 more parents to come, you could still deliver the main message
Absolutely.
if
Yeah,
it needs to.
absolutely. Okay. Great. So I think that means I think we're in a good starting position for next year then.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Okay. Good.